supports Arsenal. One does not. Put them in a room. What have you got? It's stupid, sexy, arse. It's stupid, sexy, arse.
Ooh. Hello, and welcome back to episode 3, baby, of Stupid Sexy Arse. I am Saul. I'm joined with Kai again. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you.
Rang extremely hollow. Do you want to try again, please?
No, you can take me as you get me.
All right.
It's a privilege for you guys that I'm here at all. So.
I feel privileged every time we meet, truly.
Yeah.
Especially
as you should.
Whenever I can fucking haul you out for a podcast, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes a massive amount of cajoling, so you fans, you better fucking appreciate this premium audio, okay?
Yeah.
Appreciate us.
Yeah, this took some serious torture.
Anyway, so yeah, it should be a fun show today. We're gonna, give a quick review of Arsenal's Premier League season so far, of course, with a special deep dive into Arsenal's recent victory over Manchester United. Big victory there. I'm gonna deliver some wildly speculative takes based on the limited Premier League season so far and see how Kai receives them. And we're gonna end with a fun little game that I haven't told Kai about, so that should be fun. But first of all, let's talk about one of the biggest nights in Arsenal's recent history. is Arsenal are finally back in the Champions League, and now we know what their group is.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
So good.
It feels so good.
That's
Seriously.
funny, because one of my first questions was going to be, how good does it feel to be back in the Champions League?
I mean, it's going to hit different when we hear that theme song against PSV in the opening game.
The
But
champions!
yeah, it's going to hit different. But
I don't know, I'm partial to the Europa League theme, if I'm going to be honest.
It's a better theme, but that one's clearly more iconic, and obviously it holds more weight.
Right, yeah. I don't know, just I'm never that hyped to watch the Europa League, but that theme always just hits me. Do.
Yeah, it's a good theme, but it depresses me because of what I associate it with.
Right, yeah. And
which is a dead competition, which I'm sick of having been in for years on end, and I'm so happy to be out of now.
Have you won yet? Have you won it?
No, we haven't won a European trophy since like a long time ago.
No. you just
really
had like a fucking Vietnam flashback there. It's like,
yeah.
Back in my day, we used to win European trophies.
Way before my day.
Yeah, you say reunited. Off the top of your head, do you know how long it's been? I don't know the answer. When was the last time the Arsenal were in the Champions League? It's been like almost a decade, right?
Something
like that?
I think probably around 2012, 2013, somewhere around there, maybe 2014.
So that's...
I think Xhaka played in it in his first year, so I think 2014 season.
Okay, right. Wow.
If I'm not mistaken.
Man, Xhaka was a fixture of this Arsenal team for a while. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah. So that's very exciting. How excited are you just in to finally watch Arsenal play in that Champions League game? Do you know?
Yeah, I can't wait. And what's mad about it is I kind of imagined that the first time we'd be back in the Champions League, we would be scraping in. We'd be lucky to maybe make it past the round of 16, if that. But this time, weirdly, our first year back in it. I mean, call me deluded, but I feel like we've got it's not impossible for us to go and win it all.
Ooh, that would be quite the fucking story, huh?
Yeah.
Back after a decade,
Do you
win it
agree,
all
though?
the first time. I mean, when I look...
I'm not saying we're favourites, definitely not. No. But it's not. We're in with a shot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean...
We're one of 4 or 5 teams that could do it.
It's not completely delusional, I would say, yeah. And let's move on to Rick, because one thing that does make me even more optimistic at your chances is the group draw that you got. So... Arsenal, what were you, pot 2 or pot 3? Pot 1 or pot 2 was
pot
it
2.
in the end? Pot 2. So when I look at this group, my first question is asked, could you really have hoped for a much better draw?
Yeah, we could. People keep saying this, but it's a good draw. It's not a great draw. City's draw is a great draw.
Who do they have, if you remember?
Leipzig, but then 2 really, really...
Leipzig are far better than any team in Arsenal's group. Quickly, let's
not
go...
far better.
Let's go over Arsenal's group so far. So Sevilla were the team from pot 1, and then PSV from pot 3, and FC Lens from France.
Who came second in
pot 4.
the League last year, didn't they?
I don't know French football, so I'm not. I can't tell you that. But I did do some quick research on how these teams are all doing so far, which is very interesting because you look at Sevilla. Sevilla currently, obviously not too long into the season, but they are currently last in La Liga and are not looking good. And FC Lens are second last in Ligue 1. So it's kind of a it's kind of a funny thing to have there, where two of the teams that you've drawn have started the seasons off in such poor form.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not a good group. It is a good group, but I'm just
Would
saying
this group be? I saw a lot of memes and memifying of. Would this group be that out of place in the Europa League?
No, it is a Europa League group. But
Right,
if it was a Europa League group, it's a really hard Europa League group.
Yeah, it's definitely a harder Europa
What I'm
League
saying
group.
is, like,
but
I had the exact same reaction to you when I first saw it. I was like, "Oh, this is an easy group," and then I looked to the other groups, and there was like 3 or 4 I would have rather had. So I
Okay, we're doing a quick look at the groups here to find out which ones you would rather have, because I don't know. To my view, this is about as good as you could hope for, in my opinion.
Can you see the actual ones?
Oh my god, no, none of these are right. I don't think.
Wait, this is 22, 24.
I'll just fill the dead air. It is that is the current year we're in.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
But none of these images
Here
are
it
right.
is. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh no, that's Arsenal
sake.
aren't there. None of these are right. I don't think.
Let me just quickly go back.
I see. We come prepared
Here we
whenever
go,
we
here we go, here we
podcast.
go,
We
here
take
we
this job incredibly seriously. If you can't tell,
There we go. Right.
is this right?
Yeah. So,
Right, okay.
say you have Leipzig. What the? How do you even say that?
Provenas of Aveda.
Where are they from? Is that
I
like?
assume it's either.
Oh, that's is that Red Star Belgrade?
I mean, they do have a red star there.
I think that may be Red Star Belgrade. It's just
He's showing
written
extreme
in the
knowledge on the
native
show.
language. Yeah, that's fraudulent. And Young Boys. So that's an easier group. They're like there's
Depends which young boys.
Leipzig
Some
is-
young boys are extremely talented.
clearly not Cole Palmer because they're fucking him off to Chelsea. Leipzig are better than any team we've got in our group, marginally, I'd say. I think PSV are pretty good.
Bro,
But-
come on.
It's not that crazy a difference, but those two are so shit that they're nailed for top 2, and so are we, kind of, but not as nailed, right?
I would say my analysis of this group, before we devolve into further group analysis of the other teams, is if Arsenal don't finish first comfortably in this
we have to
group,
finish
it's
first.
a failure.
We have to finish first, obviously. I'm just saying,
Without much friction, even. Like, I would say
in a,
below,
group,
like,
in a group like this, the highs are higher. In a group like City's, the highs are higher, but the lows are way lower. There's no team as bad as these two in our group.
maybe I don't know. I don't want to disrespect any teams that have made it to the Champions League. You got to give them the respect.
Yeah, no, respect to them for sure. I'm just by comparison. And then you look at Barcelona's group. They've got Porto, Shakhtar, and Antwerp. I'd rather have that group. If you replace Barcelona with us, I'd take that group over ours.
Maybe I don't know. To me, they're like very similar levels, but I get it's very slim margins to me. My point is not rather like it's literally the easiest group that you could have drawn. It's more that you look at that group and you're very confident that Arsenal should qualify in first place as well.
I am.
Which is the overall point. And that after being gone from the Champions League for so long, it's kind of nice to go in with that confidence that at the very least you should qualify into the round.
It is in a way,
32.
but do you know what? It's funny. I was actually a little bit disappointed we didn't draw one of the big boys because I wanted to make a bit of a statement of intent in the first few games. I would have loved to have a Barcelona or a Bayern and do you know what I mean, just absolutely take them apart at the Emirates.
Nothing makes a bigger statement of intent than getting whipped 5-0 at the Allianz Arena,
That's not happening this year.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
Tricky Mickey at the wheel.
Right, so...
It's impossible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed from that point of view, but yeah, I'm happy that we're probably going to get out of the group, and I'm excited to. Just it doesn't really matter who we were playing. I'm just excited to be back here. Do you know what I mean? I'm like a little kid in a sweet shop.
Yeah, we're back at the top level of European competition.
Yeah,
and this is one of the last. Is this the last year they're doing the group table format? When does that do?
I think that does start next year, and that also means top 5 in the Prem is Champions League now.
Right, so sure.
Most likely.
Maybe, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it's a very tasty group. Before we move on, why don't we? So let's make a little prediction of who would you say are the 4 favorites in the Champions League this season? Then, if you were to just go off the top,
I think the 4 are pretty clear for me. It's obviously City.
Well, yeah, they won it last year. So
Yeah, Real Madrid.
Jude Bellingham.
Yeah,
Fucking
he's
gone
killing
off to
it.
a storm
Was
and
that
start.
5 goals and an assist in 4 games?
Yeah, no, he's just killing it. He's enjoying life there in Madrid.
Bayern.
Harry Kane
Especially
and all.
with Kane now, yeah. I think they would have been even without Kane, but with Kane now, definitely. And then I think it's us. You could say Barcelona, but I honestly don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not...
PSG are in the mud. PSG are in the mud.
Yeah, it's not too ridiculous a statement. And then, yeah, Barcelona are not the most consistent. You would probably... They're, like, just still one of the favourites, but it's definitely not Barcelona of old. And then, it's all about those. A lot of times in the Champions League, you're like, which underdog team is going to make like a run? Like, so you've got like Napoli, who did fucking amazing last year, and then, you know, will this be the year of a Dortmund or a Milan, or will fucking Eddie Howe pull out the bag?
I was about to say, I could see Newcastle doing pretty decently. They're one of those. They're a team that's really hard to beat. If you know what I mean. Not necessarily really good at winning a lot of games in the league, but they're a really tough team to go and beat.
And that could kind of work well for them.
That feels well for a cup competition.
The problem right there is that Group F they've drawn is definitely the hardest group.
It's
in the
group of
tournament.
death, yeah. just a reminder that
they will not be favoured in any game they play in that group, I don't think.
Oh, I disagree with that. Their group is PSG, Dortmund, Milan, and then Newcastle. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think
they'd be favoured to beat those teams. They might be favoured to not lose. Like the odds on might be a loss.
I think bar PSG, those are some very evenly matched competitions there.
Well, my prediction is that they will finish fourth in that group.
Really?
That's my prediction.
Okay, that's fair enough. I think they'll make it out. I think it'll be PSG and Newcastle.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah. So anyway, before we divulge into just full on Champions League analysis, let's just fucking go for it. What's your prediction for the final? Put it out on Main Street before we fucking start this competition.
Well, I can't know because I don't know.
Yeah, obviously, but let's just ignore that and pick which teams do you envisage making the final.
Knockout round seeding aside, so put that aside. I've got to say Arsenal. I put them in the top four.
You
and
literally don't have to.
Well, I'm backing the. I got to back the boys.
Okay, yeah, back the boys.
It's in the blood. And then just I'd say City. That's such a boring answer, but it's my team and the best team.
Community Shield rematch, the thing that everyone's been asking for.
Hopefully, it goes the same way.
I will predict Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich with Harry Kane scoring a decisive goal.
Really? So you don't see City getting to the final then?
Not feeling it. I'll come on later to a prediction that I have about Man City, and it'll kind of tie into this. But no, I think defending champions sometimes struggle. And sometimes the best team they just they get bad stroke of luck. And
what's the record of defending champions winning again? Is that a common thing?
I was going to do research, but then I didn't, so I'm not sure. But it's something within my mind, if not in actual reality.
I'm trying to think back about teams that have won it. I think Madrid must have won it a few times in a row.
Yeah, like Madrid had that 3 times in a row, but I do think
3 in a row.
I do think it is pretty rare. Like that was like wow, that is like sustained excellence.
Yeah.
That is unusual. But yeah, that is.
I don't think there is a curse like there is. There's some competitions where it's like, oh, no team ever wins it twice in a row. I don't think that curse really exists in the UCL.
But I also don't think it's like apparent. But
no.
I have not done the research, so we can't say for sure. Anyway, that's enough talk. We're excited to see Arsenal in Champions League, and we'll see which ones of our predictions are closer. We're excited to see. It should be a fun last hurrah for the group stages. If you enjoy group stages, savor this.
So what's the format next year? It's like just 2 league tables and then the top.
I thought it was just one big massive league table.
I think it's 2. I think they separate it into 2 league tables.
That's not the way Football Manager does it, but I've not done deeper research into whether that's an accurate portrayal.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like they do I think from what I've seen on Football Manager, where I'm getting empirical true facts, is it's just one big league table, and then they have it's kind of like within a league, it's like you have these top 6 and then like a top 8, and I'm not sure how.
Why does I thought Football Manager was meant to be like a reflection of.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm assuming it's true. I'm just saying I haven't done the actual research.
Right. Well, they put that format in relation to the format.
Yeah.
Okay, right, they're predicting what's gonna. Not predicting it, but they're.
I'm assuming they've based it on what is being put forward.
They did it a year early though. That's kind of weird.
Well, no, because like you can play into the future. So it's like it changes when it would change.
That's pretty cool.
It's a detailed game.
Yeah.
But they haven't fucking paid us, so let's stop shilling and fucking move on with this fucking podcast. Where the next segment.
That's not to say sponsor us, please.
We definitely
we'll
would take the sponsorship
for sure.
We don't give that
We're
shit.
not ruling it out.
We don't give that shit away for free.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna sell out, I want to fucking sell out.
Yeah. But on the other hand, we're not talking shit about the game. It's a great game. Pay us, please.
Yeah, but. Okay, we're going to go on another tangent. We're derailing the podcast, but I cannot. Football Manager is like bad for me. I can't let myself touch it. I'm like
that's where like 90% of your football knowledge comes from. So you're kind of fucked without it.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. Yeah, hit me the pressing forward. That's how I've learned what a regista is. But no. When I play Football Manager, I just get like too sucked in. I'm like, I need to finish this season by tonight, and then it's like 9 a.m. and I'm like, I've only got 3 games left. Might as well keep playing, and then it's just a vicious cycle that I can never stop.
Yeah, I feel that. Story of my life.
But yeah, I would still take the sponsor. Anyway, let's move on to Arsenal's season. So far in the Premier League, we've had 4 matches. Quick rundown. If you don't know what happened, I'm sure you do, but let's just give it a quick rundown. First, quick 2-1 victory at home against Nottingham Forest. Good win there. 1-0 victory away at Crystal Palace, which is a good result. And then a 2-2 draw at Fulham with home, a bit disappointing. And then obviously most recently, the great 3-1 victory at Man United, which I'm sure all Arsenal fans listening will have climaxed at. What we're going to do, we don't want to go too long in this podcast because the last one we just fucking narrowed on forever and ever and ever. And Stephen Graham, my friend, he personally told me that if we ever produced the podcast that long again, he would smack me in the face. So I'll try to keep it short for Stephen to enjoy on his...
for your own personal health, let's keep it short.
Yeah, exactly. Stephen is he's like 7 foot and he's like really scary. So yeah, I don't want to...
Oh, that dude is jacked.
I do not want to invoke his wrath.
Yeah.
The fucking... We might have Stephen on for a podcast sometime when Arsenal play Liverpool. He's a Liverpool fan, so that might be interesting. But so what I want to do is we're going to quickly run through the first 3 matches of the season, and I'm going to kind of center the discussion around why I'm taking as like my major takeaway from the game. So let's start with Arsenal's...
Can I just quickly ask you something beforehand? Did you watch any of these games, or did you just watch the highlights?
I will be honest, I think I watched one of them. But mostly highlights.
Okay, so just we can preface this by saying we can prepare for some pretty grade A fraudulence here.
Yeah, I'm going to be relying on you for most of the actual analysis.
Okay.
I've been a bit busy lately, so yeah, I haven't been able to...
I got to think back now.
I travelled down to London, so I wasn't really able to commute for that I think that was during the Arsenal Fulham game, so I was kind of in transit when that game was
ironically, you were right next to the game. You couldn't watch it.
Yeah, but I was not able to watch it. So I'll just be... Let's move on to the solid talking point, derail me again, of Arsenal 2-1 victory at Nottingham Forest. A good solid win to open, as we previewed. You kind of need to be... These are must-win games if you want to be keeping up in that title race, as Arsenal are kind of wanting to do this season. So, main talking points for this game, I want to say, fucking great goal by Saka. Beautiful strike.
Orgasmic.
We'll love to see that from Arsenal's kind of most dependable kind of ace player. But for me, and it's not a fun talking point, but it's definitely the one you'd take from this game, is the long-term injury of new signing Julian Timber.
Oh, it's wiped out of my memory. Why'd you remind me?
We have to talk about it because it's definitely the most impactful thing that happened in this match. So
it's so painful.
Obviously, if you haven't seen it, Julian Timber, he suffered a ACL injury. Seems like it was a full tear, and from the quick research I did, recovery for this kind of injury is somewhere from the 6 to 9 months range. So he's probably, most likely, even at the best case scenario, he's not going to be a significant feature in the Arsenal team for basically the rest of the season.
He's pretty much out for the season. Because even if he does come back, they're not going to throw him into what we hopefully will be a title race.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way.
At the absolute most, it would be like, you give him a few minutes, sub him on, just kind of give him back up the game speed.
Even then,
slowly.
I think that could only be maybe the last few games, and probably only if we're out of a title race by then and there's nothing to play for.
Yeah, exactly. But
I think bar that, we'll see him next season pretty much.
So pretty much not a fixture likely of the rest of the season, which is very disappointing. I want to get your thoughts specifically because on our second episode, you were very, very high on him and even touted him for most likely to succeed in our superlative segment and transfer superlative segment. So how kind of disappointing was that for you when that happened in that game?
Yeah, I feel really bad for him as a person because I was watching the behind the scenes videos. The club do like a behind the scenes videos where they document the player's arrival at the club and like show the whole process of them signing and stuff. And he seemed like a super sweet guy, like a really chill guy, really excited to be here, and really promising on the pitch as well. So to see him go off with an injury like that, it sucks for the team, sucks for the fans, it sucks for him. It's just all round shit.
Very sucky.
Yeah,
is our
really shit
premier analysis.
But I will say our defensive depth is so good now that I don't feel like we needed him. I think he would have been a great addition, but I feel like we can cope without him, and I'm happy about that because in years gone by that wouldn't have been the case.
Right, yeah. But it's definitely one of those things where it's like taking that one chess piece away, it makes you like more susceptible if you lose another, you know, and then like it could eventually.
For sure, yeah.
And even if you can cope with him, you wouldn't want to because he looked like so promising that it could have upgraded the defense as opposed to
no doubt. I honestly think he was shaping up to be probably our best fullback. I wouldn't say best defender because Saliba's there, but probably he probably would have been our best fullback this season. So he's a huge miss. I'm just saying, it's not a season ender. Do you know what I mean? Like had Odegaard had that injury, I'd be like, season's done. There's no title race.
No trust in the Havertz to stand up in that place.
We'll get on to
Emil Smith Rowe. Someone could stand up, but yeah, I get what you mean.
What I mean is we wouldn't have been in a title race. I don't think. I'm not saying our season would have been done completely. Like we would have been like Chelsea levels, but
yeah.
But you know.
So obviously, yeah, our thoughts go out to Julian Timber.
Yeah.
We will back you. You know, gotta back him. Keep him in that positive mindset because I feel like that is one thing. Even further than just like the physical ailments and like recovering that knee is the mental effect that kind of injury can have.
He was posting about that a lot as well, about all the love he was getting. I think he's really feeling it now. So
yeah, it seems like he's got the good mindset and he's still determined. Obviously, not something you like to see, but hopefully he'll be back to full form next season. Obviously, take his time with recovery. Last note on this, I never like the injuries when it's like there's like no like contact and the guy just kind of like goes down. I feel like those are always
the scariest ones.
Yeah, it's like oh no, this is like really bad because it's just like a twisted knee here. It's just.
Well, to be fair, I think when the injury initially occurred, it was mid tackle, and then he re-injured it. He fully tore it off the ball.
Right. It seemed like from what I saw, it was mostly like it came from. Like before, like going into a tackle, his knee kind of.
Yeah. I don't think it was necessarily a contact thing. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. But it's kind of also last thought is kind of like it's like a reflection on how fast things can change in life. Just like 1 second he's going to be this star, new signing, most significant member of the team, and in the flash of 20 minutes, it's his whole next year has changed.
Butterfly effect.
Exactly, yeah. You gotta take care of these moments and appreciate things while you're young. That's what I say. And yeah, so let's move on to game week 2. 1-0 victory at Crystal Palace. Do you have any thoughts on how this?
Who scored the goal in that game again?
It was a Martin Odegaard penalty. He scored a penalty before Tomiyasu was sent off for a second yellow, and then you kind of just held out to kind of keep the 3 points.
I'm trying to remember exactly what happened in this game. I was kind of
faded from the
blanking
memory
on it a little bit. I remember we really controlled the game, and we probably should have won by a lot more. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm struggling to remember what happened in this game.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I could probably tell you about Forest more than I could tell you about Palace, but yeah, kind of blanking a bit.
Fair enough. I also didn't have any major talking points to take away from this one. It was kind of just like, you did what you needed to do to come away from Selhurst Park with the victory, and that's a good thing.
I will say one interesting thing about the penalty from Odegaard was that Saka is our designated penalty taker, but apparently Odegaard asked to take it last minute on the pitch, and Saka gave it to him. So now apparently they're going to do this thing where it's like a whoever's feeling better on the day type thing takes the penalty, which I think is pretty interesting because
fucking
it's shit for FPL.
Fucking disastrous for any fantasy players listening.
Shit for FPL, but I'm not super confident in Saka as a penalty taker. Like when Haaland steps up for a penalty, you go, it's just he's going to score it.
Funnily enough, he did miss that one at Sheffield United.
Yeah,
I do get
bad example, but like him, Kane, there's certain players that just step up for a penalty and you go.
Kane is one where it's like he was.
Yeah, he's surefire. You just know he's going to put it in, and I don't feel like that about any player at Arsenal right now for penalties, but I like this idea that they'll do it based on how they're feeling. I feel like that'll probably bode well for us.
Who's got the good vibes?
Right, literally, yeah.
It was a good penalty from Odegaard. Do you think that lesser confidence in Saka comes from that devastating penalty miss he had for England in the Euros?
I wish people would stop bringing this up, man.
It was a big moment.
I know, but you can't escape it. It's like, can we just get?
I wasn't asking about him. I was asking if you think that's where your lack of confidence stems from.
No, not really. Just from his body language, the couple of penalties he's missed for Arsenal as well. I'm not saying he's a bad penalty taker. He's not, but I don't have that same confidence in him that I have with the best penalty takers in the world.
Yeah, I get what you mean with that, and I don't mean to harp on it, but it's just you get things like this in the NBA. I think his name was Nick Anderson. I might be wrong on that. It was a player for the Orlando Magic anyway, and he was throughout his career, he was like something like he was a pretty good free throw shooter. He shot like average like 75-80% or something. But then he had this devastating moment in the playoffs where he had these free throws where he had like a chance to tie or win the game, and he missed both of them. And from that point in his career, he like shot like 40 to 50%. He just like had the yips with free throws, and it kind of seemed to all stem from that like mistake. So
It's
that kind of trauma can
shows you how important the mental side of sports is. You never like I always doubted that. That's one thing that I always heard people say, but I always doubted it. But it really is like so impactful. That's crazy.
Yeah, like in our pool games, whenever I start going on the losings, I don't have the mental game. I just start fucking around and going for mega shots, and then you just clean me away.
Oh, you mean like pool? Like I thought you meant like in the pool.
No, American pool.
Like on the table type pool.
Yeah. So last point on this, I didn't have many major talking points about this Crystal Palace game either, but one thing I thought was interesting, and I thought we could talk about it here, was after this game, a few weeks, our Lord and Saviour, long servant of the club, Rob Holding, was sold to Crystal Palace, and I was wondering, I just wanted to see if you had any thoughts on that transfer going through.
Well, he's on the Arsenal Mount Rushmore. It's him, it's Holdini, it's Bentner.
Yeah, just like fuck off Arsene Wenger, get Rob Holding in
it's
there.
Squillaci. It's Frimpong.
Shemak, yeah.
Shemak, yeah, that's the final one.
Oh, sorry. What do you think the meme Arsenal Mount Rushmore is? You've had quite a lot of meme players. Yeah. It's Squillaci, Bentner, Shemak,
Mustafi maybe.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, Mustafi and Frimpong has to be on there. But yeah, so
Mustafi would go on there, but
it's a bit unfair. You think?
No, he would.
No,
it would give me nightmares to look at that.
Oh, right.
It hits a bit too close to home.
The memories.
Yeah, it's a bit too painful.
He's a not fun meme.
yeah. That's a bit too close to the bone, to be honest. But I love Rob Holding. He's a really great guy, and he's been a great servant to the club. He's underrated in the fact that he's just a no-nonsense defender, and he's really good at it. And the fact that he's been playing in a team that's like playing quite technical football now has showed him up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But that's not what he's about. He's a no-nonsense defender, and when he plays that way, he's great. And I think he'll do really well for Crystal Palace because of it.
Definitely suits the Roy Hodgson type of football more than what Arteta is currently going for
yeah,
Arsenal.
Exactly. And I think he'll thrive. And a particular favourite moment for me from Rob Holding's career was I don't know if you've ever seen it, but the Wenger quote of someone saying, thanks for signing Rob Holding, Arse, or whatever, and he said, sorry, he didn't cost 50 million. Which I loved.
Yeah.
That's an iconic Wenger quote, and it wouldn't have happened without my boy Holdini.
Yeah, so pay respects and good luck in future endeavours.
Rob Holding, he's better than Cannavaro. As they say.
Let's move on.
I want to say one more thing about the Palace game that I just remembered quickly as well.
Quickly.
Nketiah won the penalty, and he scored in the Forest game. So that's two goal involvements in two games for him. Mm-hmm. I want to make that clear because I see a lot of fucking slander from my boy Edward, right. And I will not be taking it.
Oh, no slander. So you think the
two good performances in those games as well.
You think the public opinion of Eddie Nketiah is still not like fully up there?
Well, he just can't seem to win. Like I swear he could have like a 30-goal season, and Arsenal fans would find a way to complain about it and call him shit and say he should be on the bench forever.
Right.
But I mean, he's just one. It is really just one of those because he's an English academy player and he's not like some Brazilian.
Why aren't you better than Harry Kane already? Go on.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's funny you get that like. Really got to move on from this game, but the last point is I feel like you kind of do get that it's like English tax within the British media, where it's like you get like more hype than you deserve, and then if you start like underperforming the like over-deserved hype, then you get like more slander than you deserve. It's kind of like a funny kind of double.
But he's not even
there.
Underperforming.
Yeah, I know.
He's doing well.
Yeah, he's like he's like got an artificial amount of hype because he's like he is promising, but he's also like, could this be like the next fucking Alan Shearer?
No, I honestly I don't think he ever got the hype he deserved. He's he's a less marketable player than someone like Saka because he's not flashy. He's a poacher. Do you know what I mean? He's not a flashy player.
But he's also never gone like that like consistent starting
running the team, right? Yeah. So it's just like it's just weird how narratives build this bullshit that people believe in. Do you know what I mean?
He's going after everyone in this.
No,
podcast.
it really does piss me off. I see it's people slandering him all the time, and he's my boy.
Do you know what really grinds my gear segment for the next podcast?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll talk about this for an hour. Just get me started, baby.
So let's move on to the most disappointing result for Arsenal so far this season, and that is the 2-2 draw at home to Fulham. And this is not a fun one to watch, because I remember I was out with my tall, jacked, violent friend Stephen Graham while this match was happening, and we were looking at the scores because we're in the same fantasy league, and we're like, oh, who's winning? He is. Prick, because he's really good fantasy. And then we both saw like fucking Andreas Pereira score a goal within was it like 27 seconds or something?
Yeah.
It was insanely quick. And then we watched the goal, and it's a really bad mistake by
who?
By Saka, more importantly, and then like Ramsdale like struggling to recover from.
No, I'm not having this. I'm not having this.
You think it's more of a Ramsdale mistake?
No, I think it's way more of a Saka mistake.
Yeah, I just said that.
No, but I think
it's like 99% Saka's fault.
Okay, fine. Yeah. A lot of people were saying Ramsdale was mainly at fault for this, and I really disagree with that. He was so caught off. The criticism would be you don't be caught off. You have to be ready for that. Okay, but what I was about to say was part of our tactics is that Ramsdale is one of the back line when we are in possession, right? He's got to be someone who's ready to play out from the back, and he sits on the edge of his box because of it, right? He needs people like Saka to not make mistakes like that because he's going to be on the edge of his box to play the ball when we're in possession. So yeah, he was caught off guard, but he should be in positions like that when we have the ball for ball playing purposes. So I don't put any blame on Ramsdale for that.
Maybe 1%.
No, because he didn't pull off some mad Neuer shit and like sprint back at like the flash and
position, right? You let him get a shot into the near post. You could have just not let that in. But I do agree with you that it's 99% Saka's fault, and it kind of reminds me of I remember there's this. I don't know why this stuck in my mind so heavily, but there was this one Europa League match that Man United were playing, and it was against Sevilla, and Harry Maguire, he De Gea passed Harry Maguire the ball, and then Sevilla dispossessed him, and they scored. And everyone was like, oh, fucking Harry Maguire, because, that's also the meme. And I was like, that's mostly De Gea's fault. You're giving it to Harry Maguire when he's got his back turned to the defence. He's not good in that position. And you can see that he's got, multiple players ready to press him. That's mostly De Gea's fault. And I feel like a lot of times the blame there is not assigned correctly.
It's literally a narrative-driven thing. Like there's such a narrative around Harry Maguire. I think fairly so for a lot of it, but
I think it's not to harp on this, but he's kind of in the same position as Rob Holding is. He's not fitting the kind of football they want to play.
Yeah. Well, the price tag and stuff didn't help either.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But because of that narrative, even when he doesn't do things wrong, he'll always get the stick for it. And there's starting to be a bit of a narrative like that around Ramsdale, where it's like, oh, he's this mistake prone. He's not that good with his feet as everyone's saying he is. Do you know what I mean? He's not as athletic as a goalkeeper as people are saying he is. But really, I think this actually stemmed from maybe one or two mistakes, and it's just ballooned up artificially. And really, he's actually a great keeper, and we should be giving him that respect.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm interested to see if and when David Raya will get a run in, because I do respect Ramsdale, but I also think David Raya is a really good keeper, and I feel like that would be a weird transfer to make if you weren't at least thinking of him as a starting position. So I've
heard some rumors through the grapevine that he's about
grapevine.
That he's about to get a prolonged run in the team.
Mm-hmm.
So
right, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how.
I think we could see it even maybe just after the international break.
Yeah, because then he's more fully integrated into whatever.
Have some time to
But yeah, anyway, from that mistake, and that mistake kind of stemmed in this result not going Arsenal's way, because that mistake made. Arsenal did well. They scored 2 goals to get back in the lead, but then because they made that mistake super early on in the game, Fulham just need that one lucky corner goal, and Arsenal lose 2 points. And that's a big deal within the framework of Arsenal's title challenge, because of the way Man City have been so dominant.
The early goal thing's becoming a bit of a theme for us. We've done that a bunch of times now. It happened 2 or 3 times last season, and it's really something we got to cut out, because it's funny, if you look at the XG for all these games, we've mashed every team we've played on XG. So it really is coming down to these bullshit little mistakes that we're losing games with. Do you know what I mean? It's individual errors. It's not systematic. So I don't know how you fix that. How do you get people to cut out concentration lapses?
I don't know. I guess that's just a mentality thing. And again, those things are going to happen to literally every team. It's about minimizing their costliness.
But it's becoming apparent for us. It's not, like, it happens to every team, and you can't blame it for happening to every team. But when it starts to be a reoccurring thing, you got to start thinking about ways to stop it. And it's becoming a reoccurring thing for us. For every player. Like, Saka did it in that game. I think last year, I think it was Zinchenko who gave it away for the early Bournemouth goal last year. There's been a bunch of players involved. It's not any one player. It's a team thing, and I don't know why we're doing that. But
that kind of, maybe we could stem this on to my main talking point away from this Arsenal full match is, how do you think the vibes are around Arsenal this season? Because last season was so feel good that they overperformed massively over the general consensus of what people thought they would be, and then this season it's more like now you have to go even higher than that expectation. Do you think there maybe that like kind of pressure or those high expectations are maybe causing some of that at all?
No, I don't think so. I think despite not having the expectations last year, there was a ton of pressure on them at the end of the last season.
Yeah, and it didn't go well at the end of last season. But
I think that was a great learning experience for them. And I think they're hardened in that sense. I think we'll come back much stronger and we'll deal with pressure much better this year.
But surely, if you're saying that kind of those mental mistakes, like, we know these players are technically good enough that those aren't like, those mistakes are most likely not coming around from a lack of talent or a lack of skill. That's usually a mentality thing. So
I don't put that into a pressure thing though. I don't think those lapses in concentration are to do with pressure and expectation. I think it's something else. In fact, I think it's kind of the opposite. Too complacent. Do you know what I mean? It's like this isn't like panicking on the. If it was like panicking on the ball and stuff, I'd understand what you mean. But it's not that. It's like it's lazy passes under no pressure. Do you know what I mean? This is.
So you think it's kind of like they've grown too confident? Like,
I don't know. I couldn't tell you why. I'm not a sports psychologist, but
okay,
but I'd put it closer to the complacency side of the scale than the panicking pressure side of the scale.
That's interesting. Yeah, because then that's got to be like a challenge for Arteta, because I feel like that's the minimum you can have as a manager, is make sure they're like locked into play.
That's what I'm saying. How do you drill that into them that you got to be alert the whole time and stuff?
You start
caning them.
Fines. Yeah.
Just beat their ass every day.
Corporal punishment. We do not endorse corporal punishment. We do not endorse. But yeah.
Except for title challenges.
Start whipping anyone whenever they make an errant pass.
Yeah. Wouldn't put it past Arteta, the fucking madman.
I mean, I guess he's got to try something, and I guess we'll have to keep observing Arsenal if that continues to be a trend, because if it does, then that those high expectations may not come
Look at these
to pass
guys.
again.
These are fucking whip guys.
Anyway, so let's get on to the last match. I don't want to be too negative, because obviously 10 points out of 12 is a very good start to league, and this win against Man United is a very important victory. It's a good victory. How did you feel about this game?
I nearly had to go to the hospital because my throat was so raw from screaming. I thought I'd like lost my voice.
I thought you were gonna say that
permanently.
you were like ass clenching the whole time. You're like, can we score a fucking goal? That
Yeah, well, as well. My arse is ripped.
Your
now.
fucking the muscle within your arsehole
yeah.
fucking pulled. I was gonna ask, like, that specific, like, how euphoric was it when you scored that? Was it like a 96th minute goal, right?
Yeah,
Declan Rice.
Yeah, and for it to be Rice as well, just the narrative is perfect.
You're like, the 105 million pounds was worth it just for this one moment.
Yeah, that, but unironically. I love. I mean, really, I've seen a lot of United fans going, "A draw was a fair result." Nah, we should have.
Well, I think they were also a bit upset by that offside goal, which was
Well, come on, I've got some
controversial.
serious fucking opinions about that.
All right, more things grinding Kai's gears today.
We should have won that anyway. I think we had enough chances that we probably should have finished off the game.
You definitely controlled the game overall. But then
I saw a heat map actually, and
heat map?
Not heat map. What are the graphs called where it shows like the flow of play?
Flow of play chart.
Yeah, you know the ones I'm talking about. Anyway, it was like there was like two tiny little peaks for United, and the rest was all us. We completely controlled it. Mm-hmm. But we definitely should have killed off the game before that. But you gotta love moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take too many of them because they'll kill me.
Right,
you know what I mean? My heart can't take that kind of thing.
But football, that kind of moment
this is what it's all about. Do you know what I mean?
The love of the game.
Evoking these kind of emotions, it's what it's all about. And then Jesus' goal to finish it off was just the icing on the cake. Mm-hmm. Legend has it that Dalot is still sliding now.
Still sliding.
Still sliding back to Manchester.
Yeah. So, do you want to give your thoughts on this offside Garnacho goal?
Oh my God, I've been so infuriated with Man United fans.
I mean, just let's try not go too quick on this because a lot of the offsides, VAR, conversation has become a bit tired. But it was a big talking.
Well,
point,
that's kind of my point. Is that there's so many people that were like, they looked at the wrong angle when they drew the lines. It's like, do you understand how this technology works? They have technology that automatically draws lines perpendicular to the sidelines. It's an automatic thing. It's that they're not drawing freehand lines. Are we fighting geometry now? What's going on?
Isn't it still like a person has to choose where they put the line? So it's like a guy.
They choose where the lines, but if they're saying that they drew the lines at a wrong angle, the line automatically is drawn perpendicular to the sidelines.
Stop making me defend Arsenal United fans. The straw man Arsenal United fan you've created aren't they trying to say that they used the wrong angle and therefore from this angle they decided the point at which the line should be drawn perpendicularly was incorrect if they used a different angle?
No, they're not saying that.
Okay, so the straw man is wrong.
It's not straw man because everyone's saying it.
Everyone, literally. Yeah,
I've heard a lot of people saying it, and it's really pissing me off. We're so salty. We're fighting geometry now.
Geometry sucks though.
Fine, but don't be so
Maybe
salty.
We should just let it. The offside rule was created so like teams couldn't just like have a striker in the box at all times and just dick it up to him. It's not so like one guy's got a boner, so his fucking dick is 1 inch over past the defender's foot, and that's disallows a goal.
Thank God you don't control the rules of football.
You don't agree? Yeah, you have fun with like taking 5-minute breaks out of a football match to do some geometry.
I'd rather that than whatever shit show you just described.
What I just described is VAR right now.
Oh, I thought maybe I misunderstood what you were saying. I thought you were just basically saying get rid of the offside rule.
No, I'm just saying like the origin of the offside rule was created so that like people couldn't just have strikers and then punt it up to him. And it wasn't. Maybe the way it's being interpreted now is not fully in the spirit of why it was originally invented. Not that I'm not like.
What do you want to do though? It's like if it's offside, it's offside. Like,
what was it?
Yes, clearly.
I don't know. It clearly looked dubious to me, but I didn't.
Oh my god! What do you mean? I don't. Okay, explain what you mean. It looked dubious.
Dubious.
Dubious about what? What's dubious?
That they're like even as opposed to him being further than whatever the guy was.
But it's not. It's not. You can see. It's not. You can literally see the lines.
Yeah, the lines are wrong.
How? I don't understand how the lines can be wrong.
Because it's just a guy like putting it like sticking it like on a smartboard.
Okay, but the lines are drawn at the right angle. Yeah.
They're not drawn at any angle.
Yes, they are.
Okay, they're drawn perpendicular.
At a right angle to the
Yes,
sideline.
but it's still a guy choosing where the guy's foot ends.
Yeah, but you could see when he drew the lines that Garnacho's shoulder was ahead of him. So I don't know what you mean. The only argument you could make is that they're drawing the lines at the wrong angle, which we know they're not because it's an automatic thing, right?
Sure.
So if you were saying that, I'd understand, even though it would be objectively wrong. But if you're not saying that, I don't know what you mean. The lines are at the right angle, and we can see that his shoulder's ahead of them because it's in line with the lines they drew. So I don't know what you mean.
I mean, what I mean was I mostly said it to piss you off, so let's move on.
Before I actually spontaneously combust.
His face is turning redder than a fucking cherry tomato right now. So let's move on. I did get a big fun bit of antagonizing there, but yeah, let's move on before we move on to my next segment. I want to ask, to finish off this Arsenal season in review so far, do you have any like final thoughts, overall thoughts of how Arsenal have been playing so far?
Yeah, I do. I've heard a lot of people say that we're not clicking this season, and I agree that we haven't hit full stride yet. Definitely not. But every single game that we've played so far, we controlled, and every single game we should have won, including the Fulham one. In fact, especially the Fulham one. I think that was one of the best games we actually played this season. And people need to give Arteta some leeway as well. Everyone's moaning about this new system and stuff. I think it's actually really good. We win the ball back a lot faster now. We're less dynamic and explosive, but we control games more than we did before. It's less on the edge, and I think we'll draw out more good results if we keep playing that way and we perfect it more. So I just want to say I think we're playing well, and stop fucking moaning, everyone who's mad at Arteta for this new system.
He's fucking on one at the Redditors. Come on.
Yeah, I'm on one because just a lot of bullshit flying around right now, and I'm not for it. I'm not here for it. No.
Yeah, well, we do evolve from people who still throw bullshit around for fun, so maybe that's part of that. But yeah, I do agree though. From like you're not fully clicking, but you're still playing well, and you've still gotten like 10 points out of 12. Obviously, you want to win every game, but that's probably it's not going to happen. So I mean, that is
There's also
almost as good as you could hope for.
Yeah, there's also a momentum side to it as well. It's just like every season, a team has a certain peak at a certain point in the season, and last season it was at the start of our season. And then we tailed off towards the end, and that's when Man City really hit their stride, and they peaked at the end.
Yeah,
of the
they
season.
had like the opposite. Yeah.
So if we can do something similar and draw out good results, 10 points out of 12 is good for a point where you're not in your peak, and we can peak at a point where we really need it and start and go on like a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah, around like that February, March time.
Yeah, then I kind of prefer it to what happened last season, honestly. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, almost as happy as we can be, except about VAR, because football fans will never agree, because it's too much fun making people angry about it. So that's Arsenal season in review. Pretty good so far. Let's move on to our next segment. So one annoying thing that may also grind Kai's gears, because almost everything seems to be doing that right now, is how a lot of people and sports fans, they like to wildly speculate, especially when there's not a lot of evidence. But instead of leaning against it, I'm going to lean far in. So these are Sol Kailo's overreactions to the first 4 game weeks of the Premier League. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw these out and give sort of some of my feelings behind why I'm doing this overreactive take. And then you can give it like a rating out of 10.
You need therapy by the end of this.
His fucking head just fully explodes and then you can give me a rating out of 10 about how much either like how likely you think the take is or how much you respect the take.
Okay, I'm nervous, but okay.
So let's start this one out hot. This is my first unhinged speculative take. Ange Postecoglou, yeah, that guy, the Spurs manager, Australia man. Ange will go down as the best manager in Spurs history.
Okay. Let me ask you this: prior to Ange, who's currently the best?
So I did some quick research on this.
Bill Nicholson, probably, right?
Bill Nicholson. So the two I had written down are Bill Nicholson, manager from 58 to 74, won 11 trophies, European Cup, just that kind of stuff in there as well. And I put down Pochettino probably a second, because even though they
played the best football under him,
and he made a Champions League final in the recent era, I put those two as the best. I could be wrong, but from the quick Wikipedia search I did, I would put those two at the top. And let me give some of my reasons for this take. Is obviously the first 4 games Ange has played with Spurs, they've been really good. The attacking flow especially has looked really great, and they've like dominated teams, even like pretty decent teams, I guess, like Man United. And the other part of the take, which maybe I can get you on board with, is that being the best manager in Spurs history not as quite as big as an accomplishment as you would think.
Yeah, the bar is low.
It's not low, but it's not quite as high as maybe that statement originally sounds. But
I tell you why it's low, right? It's low because the funds are large, but the the what you have to do to reach glory for them is low. Like if you go to say I don't know, like a Crystal Palace, yeah, the bar is also low, but you don't get the funds to go along with it. So this is a uniquely easy job. I put that in quotes.
Yeah, it's been really easy for everyone there.
Well, it should be, because you get a lot of the money and the good stuff that comes along with being a big club, but you don't have to do a lot to get the glory. Mm-hmm. So I'd say it's probably on paper it's the easiest Premier League job in that sense.
Okay.
Honestly, I would.
All right, so you support my take? You're behind it?
Yeah, you probably thought I was gonna like jump over the table and strangle you for that, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I guess. What am I saying? What he will accomplish as to go down is this: he's probably gonna serve for a long time, I guess, as part of it. And maybe we'll win a Premier League. Once
really, you think he'll win a Prem?
When Pep fucks off and Arteta goes to Man City.
He's already out of the fucking Carabao Cup, so. Can't even win that.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, is the question if he wins Spurs a trophy? Any trophy in this modern era, is he automatically like the third best manager of Spurs history?
He's up there for sure. Yeah, they'd die for that. But I don't think it's a crazy take. He plays really, really nice football. I've been kind of disgustingly impressed with him this season.
Yeah, and I was a bit dubious just because he hadn't had that massive big team experience. In the past, but it's been
that's exactly what they need, because they've tried the Mourinho, Conte, big manager, big personality thing, and it doesn't work for them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's.
But there is an alternative where neither of those approaches could work.
Yeah, they haven't, because they've tried the other routes. They've tried who was the Wolves guy?
God,
I forgot his name.
I can't remember.
know-
Bald guy. Yeah.
Nuno something.
Yeah, Nuno Espirito Santo.
Yeah, Espirito Santo. Yeah, they tried him, and there's another one I'm blanking on that they tried in the same kind of vein.
Ryan Mason was interim manager for a
Ryan
bit.
Mason.
Anyway, let's just give me a rating out of 10 for how you feel about that take.
It's a bit reactionary.
I mean, that's literally the whole segment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Well, just when you ask me that, just imagine I'm saying that to start with. So I don't have to say it. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy. I'll give it. So wait, what am I rating it? I'm rating it on
A combined feeling of how likely you think it is and how much you like it, in theory.
why I don't like it. It's the Spurs.
Right, yeah.
So 0.
Nah, okay, we're going. Okay, just
Okay,
how
on how likely I think it is to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7.
7 out of 10? Okay,
Yeah,
we're starting up pretty good. Maybe, I guess the idea is I want to get as low as possible. So I think this next one, let's see how this next one does. Evan Ferguson will be the second top goal scorer in the Premier League. So obviously, let me just give a wee bit of thinking in this one. This one's extremely reactionary because it's basically because he just scored a hat-trick in that last game was against Newcastle. So he scored a hat-trick in that, so that's a pretty good foundation starting off point. It's point 2, there's 3 points in total. Point 2, Brighton still playing fantastic football, still with one of the highest XGs in the whole league. They're top 3, I believe, second maybe. If I saw the stat, they're definitely top 3. So lots of goal scoring opportunities, and I do believe Evan Ferguson will eventually win the starting striker position. So lots of opportunities to score, and And third point is they turned down, like they said they would want like over 100 million to sell him. So obviously they believe in him.
I think it'll be even if they do let him go, it'll be even more than that. It'll be like closer to 150. I think.
Okay.
I really do think so.
So
and weirdly, I can see someone like Chelsea coming in and paying something like that for the next couple of seasons.
the Brighton to fucking Chelsea pipeline's still open.
I hope it doesn't, just for his sake, because it's such a way to kill your career going to Chelsea now.
Right, it's like you go to Chelsea and you flip a coin, and if it's heads, you're like good, and if it's tails, like your career is pretty much instantly ruined.
They're like the Two-Face of football.
Right, yeah.
So what's the take in that he'll be the second
top scorer? Because even for me, I just can't put him above Haaland. But he will. I'm going to say he will be the second top goal scorer.
I don't think he will be. I don't even think he'll be top 5. But I really, really like him, and I think he'll have a really good season this year. And I really, really hope he ends up at Arsenal eventually.
Ooh.
I've heard some rumours that
puts your boy Nketiah fucking further down the totem pole.
Well.
I mean,
I like Eddie, but there's levels to this game. There's levels to this game.
Ferguson over Nketiah. Okay, interesting.
He's really is the complete striker of Ferguson, or he's going to turn out to be at least.
He's shown that potential.
Yeah, great in the air, fast, amazing positioning, great link-up play. In fact, in that sense, I think he could even be better than Haaland eventually.
Oh my god! Okay,
he's got more technical ability.
Right, so it sounds like you're on board with my take.
Not really, because I don't think he's going to do it this season.
No?
Definitely not.
Why not?
But I think he could eventually be at that kind of level. So I'll give that like I do really like him though, so I'll give it a 6.
Okay, 6. Slightly less. Okay, that's good. That's good.
If this is the most outrageous shit you can come up with, then
I wanted them to be somewhat based on reality.
Okay, yeah, we're not going completely off.
I wanted it to be like you're still could see how I could think this from the fucking first 4 game weeks. How about this one? West Ham will finish in a Champions League spot. So this is
top 5 then.
Yeah, sure. If that is the top 5, yeah. So this is based mostly on. I went with. I was down visiting my tall friend who dabbles in mixed martial arts, Stephen Graham, and in Reading, and we went to a pub to watch the West Ham Brighton game. And going into that match, we're like, oh, Brighton. I think we're both like, oh, Brighton will probably win this. And then West Ham just like completely controlled the game and like made Brighton looked like completely impotent the whole time.
Then they controlled the game pretty much.
Brighton never looked like they had a chance to score.
Wow.
And like West Ham just took care of their couple of chances, and they were pretty nice goals as well.
So it was more of West Ham keeping them quiet than an off day from Brighton.
I don't know. It did seem like Brighton were like really trying, but they could just never break through the big Moisey defense, the big Moyes wall. And obviously West Ham, other than that game, that's mostly what my take is based on. But obviously they've started off. They've also got 10 points out of their first 12, and I feel like West Ham, they're a very like up and down team. Like one season they'll be like, oh, they're like pushing for Europa League places, and then the next season they're like a downspin, bad vibes. So maybe they're just up in the upswing, and it'll fully be upswing to get them in the Champions League. I
see where you're coming from based on those first few games, but teams like West Ham for me always have little peaks like this where everyone thinks they're going to be the next big thing and then they fall off big time. I remember Fulham did last year. There was a point where everyone was like, oh my god, Fulham are going to be in a Champions League race, and look what happened to them. Do you know what I mean? They fell off big time. What did they end, like 12th, 13th?
I think it was like 11th or something. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Well, nowhere near Champions League spots, that's for sure. But I think that's what this is. It's a really good peak for them, and it might last for a little bit, and it will end there. And so I'd say definitely. I don't even think they'll finish top 10.
Whoa! Not behind the take then.
So I give it like a
did you
3.
watch this West Ham Brighton match?
No.
Maybe that's why.
Well, that's kind of my point.
Completely
is that
neutered one of the best offenses in the whole Premier League.
That's kind of my point. Is we shouldn't be that reactionary about it. So
I mean, that's the whole segment. But
no, I know. But,
Yeah.
but I'm rating this from the reasonable perspective. Right? That's my
Mr.
role
Reasonable
here.
Man.
Well, that's what you want me to be. The fuck you want from me? Oh yeah, it's like, oh, it definitely happened. They'll probably win the league. 10 out of 10.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Agree with me and never challenge me again, please.
I'll give that 3 out of 10.
Okay. I mean, that's good. We're getting a bit more unhinged.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one. So we're halfway. That's the first 3. There was 3 more. Next one. Everton will record a record low points this season.
I could see that happening. That's just a club. That's not really a crazy take though.
Not record low points though. I mean, in like Premier League history.
Record low. I've not been alive enough to know how bad they ever were.
I think Derby got something in the teens.
Oh, like a record Premier, not a record club low for them. A record Premier League.
Yeah, record Premier League low.
No, okay, that's no, definitely not.
Here's my thing. They've been shit, and then they sold the legend Alex Iwobi to Fulham, their best player, and then they sold.
That's right.
They sold Damari Gray. He went to a Saudi Arabian team, and it was bad.
Damari Gray went to Saudi.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, crazy.
And so yeah, I don't feel it feels like very bad vibes around them, and it'll just be a fun narrative that they're so legendarily bad.
They're a fully mudded team, and I don't like them, so I'm happy about it.
But you're not fully bought in on them being the lowest recording.
No,
Premier League
I don't
team
even
of all
think.
time.
Well,
I think it's like
thought
Derby
so.
with like 13 points or something.
Oh my god! Well, there's no way. There's no fucking way. I wouldn't have thought so anyway. But the fact that Luton Town's in the same league and there's no way they finished below Luton Town.
There's a way.
I don't think so.
There's a way.
Have you seen any Luton Town games this year?
They looked fine against Chelsea.
Didn't they lose 3-0?
Yeah, but they didn't
got
look,
absolutely
they
dominated.
didn't look that bad.
Oh, okay.
Nah, they look pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly.
They look pretty bad.
I think I can see Everton getting relegated this year, but I really don't think they'll register a record low points. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
I'd give it like a 1.
They definitely will record a club record low.
I can see that. That's more likely to me.
I don't know
I give that like a 7.
I don't know what that is, but I'm willing to bet that's what it is. Just 'cause I'm not getting good vibes from them from this first part of the season.
Well, the fact that they've never been relegated shows that the record low is not that low.
I wonder if that was literally last season. I wonder. I don't know.
Yeah, it might. It might have been.
Yeah. So you're not behind them.
I give a club record low for them a 7. I'd give a Prem record low a 1. It's just not happening, is it?
But can you imagine if I'm right?
They got to win 4 games. Have they already won a game this season?
Nah, they've drawn once and lost 3 times.
And the record's 13 points.
I think it's like either 13 or 15.
So they got to win 4 games this season.
Well, no, they could play. Yeah, they can't win more than 4 basically.
Yeah,
they have to win like 2 matches.
They'll win more than 4.
If they like draw like
they
13.
play Luton Town twice.
Luton will fucking smack Everton. Quote me on that. Okay, next one. I wonder how. See, part of this was I'm not sure how unhinged they are, so it's good to get like a bench
engage
report.
them a bit, yeah.
Mauricio Pochettino and Eric Ten Hag will be sacked before this season is finished.
10 out of 10. I'm so here for it. I'm so here for it.
The problem is, I was like, is this one? I was doing drafts. I'm like, Pochettino being sacked. I don't know, Chelsea, that's their thing. Even though it'd be stupid, and then Ten Hag will be hacked. Like, I don't know, like also seems plausible. So I've kind of combined them to make like, the duo of them both being sacked is the prediction to make it a bit more thing. I'm still not sure if it's unhinged enough.
It's not that unhinged. The duo is unlikely, I think. But I so want it to happen more than anything in the world.
Let me give my thing behind the take is Chelsea spent fuck ton of money. They've started off mediocrely at best, even with that win against Luton. They haven't been the best. They're like mid-table as of the first 4 matches. And Todd Bowley, he's put it kindly.
That man knows how to fuck up a football club.
You said it, not me. Some dubious decision making. Yeah, and that's kind of just Chelsea's. It's in Chelsea's DNA that they sack a manager whenever he's not fully on it immediately. So, and then Erik ten Hag, Man United also had a pretty disappointing start to the league season, and there's just a lot of bad vibes around Man United. Even more importantly than their like bad season start, and I feel like those might overtake the club, and like the environment might become just like so negative. And even though it doesn't actually fix any problems within Man United, and like he'll be like a scapegoat, we'll be like, oh, this is not working, this feels this is bad vibes, bad energy around the club, we'll fire this manager, getting in a new one to give like that fake sense of new hope, new environment.
I totally see all that happening. Like Chelsea, not to the same degree as Chelsea because they're just like the greediest cunts ever, but United, they have that like ultra high pressure thing going on as well that makes it really hard, a really hostile environment for managers doing bad to exist under. Yeah, I could see that happening.
All right, so give a rate.
I can see one or the other happening much more than both.
Yeah, that's not unhinged enough, you know.
No, I know. I'm just laying out my reasoning and stuff. But so because of that, because I really wanted to happen, I'll bump it up a few points as well. So I give that 6.5.
6.5. If you want to make it really unhinged, add Eddie Howe in there as well.
Nah. You know what's funny? Newcastle were 4th. I'm just looking at the Premier League table now. United in 11th, Chelsea in 12th, and Newcastle in 14th. So Eddie has done the worst so far, but I see him as the least likely out of the three.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just have a sneaking suspicion. Newcastle, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I have a feeling that they ranked number 1 in the league last season for time within a game that the ball was in play, and then this new rule of added time might fuck them over.
It's not going to help them.
Their specialty was being like hard to beat, and part of that was don't let our opponents have the ball in play. And with the new Champions League group, and obviously I predicted them to come last in the Champions League, I think that could bring a negative energy around the club, and they could underperform massively what they're expected. And
I can see how you got there. Not for me though, but I can see how you got there. But
that's if you want to make it extra unhinged.
Yeah.
Last prediction. I'm interested to see.
Well, if we're adding him in, I'd give it a 2.
2 out of 10, nice.
I really don't see that one happening. Sorry,
fully unhinged. Last bit of the segment. I'm very interested to see your thoughts on this one. Man City will pull off an invincible Premier League season.
0.
Is that just because you
don't want to think
hate
about
the
it?
idea?
Don't even want to think about it. I'm actually appalled that you said those words into a microphone that's recording us
on an Arsenal podcast. Host of an Arsenal podcast.
How could you say that?
Let me give my quick thinking behind this one. So Man City, Pep Guardiola, they're pretty good. So they that's the thing. No, sorry. So they've won 5 out of 6 Premier Leagues or 6 out of 7. Loads of fucking Premier Leagues.
5 out of 6, I think.
Yeah. So obviously their team is still amazing. Haaland is still on top. They've won 4 out of 4 already. It's like, I imagine like Pep Guardiola's playing this like Football Manager save to bring it back, and he's like, I've accomplished everything at this club. What is the last thing that I could do at this club? And it's to win the Premier League season without being unbeaten. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's like selling that as something for the team to try and achieve. It's also sold on, I've watched them play 2 games against Newcastle and Sheffield United, and they just looked like so in control and like never likely to lose at all, that I was like, maybe this might never lose a game in the Premier League.
I don't see it as likely because there's I think.
I mean, it's an invincible season is inherently unlikely.
Yeah, obviously. But there's seasons gone by. I would have said they were way more likely to do it. Just because this is like as good as they are right now. They've been much better than this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, when Liverpool were at their peak and they were really challenging them, they were levels above what they are now for me. So if they were going to do it, it was then. Yeah, I don't even have them winning the Prem this year, so I can't say it's anywhere near likely.
They could like win 18 and draw 18 and still not win the league.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point.
That's not the prediction, though. You
imagine that an invincible season, but they come outside the top 4.
I can just imagine like an invincible season where they're like 15th because they've just literally drawn every single match.
Just on principle, as an Arsenal fan, I gotta give it a 0.
That's fair enough.
So
I did expect that. That's why I put that one last, as I knew we'd have the worst reaction. 0 out of 10.
It's funny, it didn't get me that mad because
you don't believe in it.
because it's so ridiculous. Like if you'd gone a little bit more realistic, you may have got me to snap, but I think you went too far in the other direction.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe.
So.
I mean, I'm gonna keep these notes I have, and we may come back at the end of the season and see how close I was to to get predicting something true with these unhinged predictions.
Yeah.
All right, that's a fun segment, and so that's our show. We have one more last segment actually. Fun game for Kai. I did not prepare him on this. He has not been able to study, but we're just gonna end with a fun wee game.
Oh shit.
Well, this will be me questioning Kai. So what the game is, it's called the Career Paths game. So I'm gonna give you.
Oh yeah, I've seen this on like YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a list of clubs that a player went through, and you're gonna have to try and guess which player is the one I'm guessing.
You definitely copied this from a YouTube short, didn't you?
No, actually, I think maybe it was like on Twitter or something. Okay, I think I saw like Gary Neville or something doing it.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah. So it's a bit fun game to end this show. Trying to relax Kai down because his face is still a bit red.
I'm just hot.
It is fucking hot in here. Do not take off any clothes, please.
Can't promise anything.
So we've got 8 here, so I'm interested to see how well you can do out of these 8. So let's go. Player number 1. Which player is this? Yeah. So it's Toulon, and then Monaco B. Play along also if you're listening. Comment if you're able to guess these players and Kai isn't. Next, so Monaco B, then to Ignacio, then back to Monaco.
Ignacio Varga.
Agasio.
Come Better Call Saul here.
Shut up. Yeah, he had a quick stint in Albuquerque where he interned under Hector Salamanca.
Sorry, can you just quickly go through the first 2?
It's Toulon to Monaco B to Agasio to Monaco.
Agasio? What the fuck's that?
It's a French team.
I feel like the pronunciation's a bit...
Agaccio.
Oh, okay. I know that, but I can picture the badge.
To Monaco, to Lyon, to Sevilla, to Arsenal, to Bastia. And that is this player's full career.
Name the couple before Arsenal again.
So it's Monaco, then Lyon, then Sevilla, then Arsenal. Comment below. Have you gotten this before, Kai? I can see the grains moving within his head differently. Do you think do you have any idea that you think you know who it is?
No, not really. No? I'm just kind of racking. See, this game's hard because I want to sit down and think about this for an hour, but obviously we can't. It's right, I'll keep talking.
You got a certain time on it. Do you want me to run through the teams one more time?
No, I've got them in my head.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
It's funny, we mentioned him earlier on the meme round Mushroom. Sebastian Scolacci was the player.
I'm too young to know where he came from. When I really started getting into Arsenal, he was already there, so I wouldn't have known that.
Right, fair enough. I thought you might have known
I'm pretty surprised he came from Sevilla. I didn't know that.
I thought you might have known where he came from and where he went, but yeah.
No.
It's interesting. I didn't know exactly how to the difficulty to put this within. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, you're really gonna expose me here.
If I've done it right. Okay, the next player number 2. 0 out of 1 so far. You don't want to look too stupid. All right, so we've got player number 2, Arsenal, to Man City, to Liverpool, to Celtic.
Ian Wright. No. Why did I say that? I just heard Arsenal and Celtic and I heard Ian Wright. It's not Ian Wright. It's not Ian Wright.
Okay.
I don't know why. That was weird.
I mean,
that was really fraudulent. I don't know why. I just heard Arsenal and Celtic. I was like, oh, Ian Wright.
Did Ian Wright play for Celtic?
I'm really surprised about that.
I'll give you a mulligan on that one.
Say again.
Okay, so the path is Arsenal to Man City to Liverpool to Celtic.
Arsenal to City.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, you don't want to be 0-2. That's not a good place, you know.
I've got a feeling I'm going to be 0-8. Really.
I might have skewed it a bit to the more difficult.
Is this quite a tough one?
I wouldn't have thought so. I thought this would have been an easier one. So why'd you make it 0-8? I'm gonna have to press you for an answer.
Give me a second.
It's even worried about the dead air. You know,
ramble on a bit.
Literally everyone in the audience knows who it is I'm talking about. So it's just a bit embarrassing for you. So I just don't want to let the embarrassment hang on too long. I will repeat the career path one last time for you and all the fans listening at home. It is Arsenal to Manchester City to Liverpool FC to Celtic, really running the you never walk alone gambit there.
I'm blanking.
Finger on his head.
No, I don't know.
Seems you don't want to throw out one last guess.
Well, no.
Okay, fair enough.
You can't really guess in this game, can you? Either nor.
You could just throw out a player that's played for Arsenal at some point.
Arteta. It's
not Mikel Arteta. He
not,
played for
obviously.
Rangers, though. So.
Obviously it's not. Yeah.
It is Kolo Toure, is who it is.
Oh.
It's Kolo Toure. A bit worried because I thought that was an easier one. So we move on to player 3. That's 0-2.
He played for Liverpool.
Yeah, according to this.
Just blanked out in my mind.
According to my,
Okay.
I think, I'm pretty sure on like FIFA 14 he had.
Also didn't know he started at Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And even I knew that, but I don't mean that in a mean way. I heard a story about like him being on the academy and Wenger picking him out or something.
Oh, you're exposing me here.
So 1-2, yeah, it's a bit embarrassing. It'll be less embarrassing when we get to some of the later players who don't have Arsenal connections. But these Arsenal ones are a bit embarrassing. Player 3. I almost said the name of the player. Sorry, player 3 started at Atletico Nacional, then went to Nice, then to Arsenal, then to Napoli, then to Al Nassr.
What the fuck?
Oh no, I've skewed the game too difficult.
It's so hard as well because if
You're
I
under
was,
the bright lights of
if I was in a sterile
podcast
environment
studio.
where I could sit down and think about it for a bit, then I could probably get closer to them at
This
least.
place is
but
very sterile.
It's high pressure. I feel like I'm a piece of pork in a pressure cooker.
Right now, you're like starting the game, and you're like Saka making that crap pass to the Fulham player.
Right,
You're just
yeah.
cracking. You're cracking like a fucking egg.
No, I'm like Ramsdale. It's not my fault, but I'm getting all the blame for it.
All right, it's not my fault. Would you like me to repeat the?
Yeah,
the
go
path?
on.
It starts with Atletico and Nacional, then we go to Nice, then to Arsenal, then to Napoli, and then ending up at Al Nassr. He's clueless, folks.
The easiest way to do this is think about current Al Nassr players because it's got to be recent, probably with the Saudi stuff going on. I'd guess.
Interesting thought process. How well do you know the Al Nassr squad other than...
Well, I know some of the signings they made in
right.
this year, do you know what I mean, or in the last couple of years.
I also think of someone who plays for Al Nassr that also played for Arsenal at some point.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. I mean, he played for your club, your beloved club. You can't even remember.
Oh my
who
god.
he is.
It's bad enough I can't get it. I don't need you rubbing it in.
I'm sorry, I have to fill the air somehow. Everyone in the
I know, we'll be a bit nicer. But
Everyone in the fan base, Sandy Jenkins, Stephen Graham, my mum, they all know who I'm talking about.
Your mum big fan?
Yeah, she listens. She thought the Sol Kylo defense lawyer was the best segment.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Until my law practice went under.
My mind's blank. I can't get it.
Oh my god, he's cracking out the pressure, folks. No, throw it a guess, please.
I don't know what you... Ronaldo. It's not, though.
It is David Ospina.
Oh, I should have got that. Okay, that's actually... Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
These are hard, man.
Well, I didn't want them to be easy, and then
Who remembers Ospina?
Me.
I mean, I liked him when he was here.
My go-to Serie A keeper in Ultimate Team. I mean, I didn't want it to be too easy. It's hard to, calculate. And then trying not to make them too hard.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, it's 0-3.
Yeah.
Shame's kind of comments for his lack of knowledge. Player 4. 8 of these. Hopefully you get one.
Just really knock my self-esteem right down there. Just really floor it. Yeah, cheers.
Player 4. My confidence of you getting this one is 0, so please prove me wrong.
Oh, Jesus.
I can even give you a slight hint on this one. Okay.
No, just...
Player 4. I keep almost saying the player. Player 4. Arsenal to Brentford.
I'm never getting this.
To Beveren. To Brighton, to Reading, to Chelsea, to Aston Villa, to Fulham, to Stoke City, to Brighton. That is the long large story.
There's no way I'm
career
getting
path
this.
there.
There's just no way.
Yeah, there might be somewhere, if you... I'll give you one hint.
Is he still playing?
No, he retired quite recently. Within... I think it was 2022, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so someone who retired at Brighton in 2022.
I think either 2022 or 2021, but yeah. I think he was part of the team that got... Yeah, I can't remember. That's too much hint. I'll give you another hint, is that he never actually made an appearance for Arsenal. That's another hint.
Well, what the
I'm just telling you his career path.
I might know this then.
You might have some knowledge of some other fucking teams and players that might have this career path might match.
You know when I've seen this on YouTube, it's like Manchester United to Real Madrid to Juventus.
Yeah, and those are so boring
And they go Ronaldo.
because they're all so obvious. I'm trying to give you some fucking difficulty here.
Some people struggle with those ones.
Yeah, because they're fucking idiots.
You're giving me Ospina.
Oh, sorry, fucking. Just didn't want to give you players. It's fucking obvious Arsenal players. I'm trying to give a bit challenge. I'll give you the career path one last time.
No, I don't need it. All I need
Just
is
for the fan bases, that might be listening,
it.
and I'll give you more time to ponder. Please write this in the comments if you got any of these that Kai is struggling to get. It's Arsenal to Brentford to Beveren to Brighton to Reading to Chelsea to Aston Villa to Fulham to Stoke City to Brighton. Does anyone have this? Are you willing to hazard a guess, or do we have to move on?
Move on. Got no idea.
It's Steve Sidwell, legendary player Steve Sidwell,
I don't know
ginger
why.
boy.
I don't know why you'd ever think I could get that.
Because I could, I guess.
Really? If I'd asked you that, you would have got that. Bullshit.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
No, it's zero chance. There's a 0% chance.
I am in charge, so we'll never find out. What I'm saying is Steve Sidwell is someone I had a hotspot for, and Reading to Chelsea is something I might have remembered because that was a big deal for me at the time. Okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I used to kind of support Reading.
Got Sidwell posters on the wall.
Yeah. Anyway, legendary journeyman. Anyway, 0-4. Stop trying to deflect.
Saul Kello has Sidwell bedsheets.
Yeah. We're moving on to player 5. We'll try to speed this up a bit. Leeds United to Tottenham Hotspur to Everton FC to Burnley to Kayserispor,
Oh, the Turkish team.
and then back to Burnley. Can he figure this one out?
No. Inevitably, no.
It seems I did not get the.
Okay, can
level of
I
difficulty.
start asking a couple questions because I'm just never going to get these otherwise.
Sure. You get one question.
No, just let me ask a few because I'm
fine.
never going to get it otherwise. Otherwise, we're going to go over 8 and it's not going to be fun to listen to.
Fine, go.
What club out of those did he spend the most time at?
I would say is most.
What was he most famous for?
I'd say he was most prolific in the Tottenham to Everton years.
Tottenham and Everton.
Are you getting these at home? Did I make this too difficult, or is Kai fraudulent? Please let me know. I'm genuinely curious.
Well, here's the thing. I like football, but I'm not I'm not the kind that reads like Wikipedia pages on footballers. Like,
I guess
I like watching football, but
but it's
not crazy. I'm not like I couldn't go on Mastermind and do a football segment.
Yeah, that's these aren't Mastermind. This is
This
is
is
like
not far off.
This is like junior Mastermind.
It's like the university. What's it called again?
Sorry, University Challenge.
Yeah, this is the university challenge.
Fucking, I'm betting everyone at least got Pulitzer, right?
We are in a university as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
All right, I'm gonna give the career path one last time, and then you can ask one more question, and then we must move on because this segment is definitely dragging. Okay, so I've got Leeds United to Tottenham Hotspur to Everton to Burnley to Kayserispor to Burnley again. Do you know who I'm talking about, audience at home? Can you guess this?
Okay, my question is, which player are you talking about?
That's
what country is he from?
England.
Oh, great.
He plays as a winger.
English Spurs winger. Townsend.
As soon as I said that, I knew you would get it wrong. It's
Is it?
Aaron Lennon.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I was like, because he also did Spurs and Everton. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
unlucky. No, it's Aaron Lennon. Sorry about that. 0-4. Okay, next one. I'm interested. 3 more.
What do you mean these aren't hard? Who the fuck is getting Aaron Lennon?
Mate, he was a fucking...
He's such a forgot even existed until you
he
said it
literally
there.
is playing for Burnley right fucking now.
Really?
Either right now or last season at least, but either way. Okay.
I believe that's kind of surprising he's still playing.
I'm trying to give it a bit of difficulty. Let's see. Player 6. Okay. This one, I feel like maybe you have a chance of this one, but I don't know. You don't know anything about fucking football, apparently. Okay. We start.
Roasted here. Jesus Christ.
We're getting roasted in this fucking room because it's so hot. Okay, we've got Independiente to Manchester United to Villarreal to Atletico Madrid. Sorry, I don't know why I said that weird. To Atletico Madrid, to Inter Milan, to Internacional, to... These are the teams where it stops helping. To Internacional, to Cerezo Osaka, to...
International as an Inter Milan.
No, Inter Milan... Internacional is like an Argentinian team.
Oh.
To Cerezo Osaka, to Penarol to Mumbai City and then Kitchi. So what I would do is I would just think about these four. I would think about Manchester United, Villarreal, Atletico Madrid, and Inter Milan. Those are the four teams I would think about with this player. Very famous, prolific player, this one. It's probably the highest profile player of the ones that I chose. Okay, maybe the ones on the next page.
I don't know, with the Spanish teams in United, I was thinking Veron for a second, but he went to United later, didn't he?
Who?
Juan Sebastian Veron.
Yeah, it's not him. I'm blanking on who that is at the moment.
He's a really famous midfielder. Who's got zero football knowledge now? Huh?
It's probably the heat in his room. I can. It's
getting to me.
And being in the hot seat for this trivia, it's double heat.
Who were the Spanish teams? Villarreal and Atletico, was it?
Atletico Madrid, yes.
Ooh,
Gonna give the career path one last time for you listening at home. Can you guess who this is? Independiente to Manchester United to Villarreal to Atletico Madrid to Inter Milan to Internacional to Cerezo Osaka to Penarol to Mumbai City to Kitchi is the career path for this player. It's a striker.
Tevez.
No, we must.
I was thinking Argentinian.
It is Diego Forlan is who it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that.
We're going to move quickly on these last two. Player 7, PSV to Manchester United to Lyon.
By the way, what's this got to do with Arsenal? What's Forlan got to do with
It's
Arsenal?
supposed to be a fun little game.
Oh, okay.
Some of the last players started with Arsenal, and some of these other players have tangentially related to Arsenal currently.
Can I remind you of the name of the show?
So this player currently, this player, much like Arsenal will be playing PSV in the Champions League, started his career at PSV. He then was signed by Manchester
Cody
United.
Gakpo.
No.
Sorry, go.
We're in a segment. Then went to Lyon, then Barcelona, then Atletico Madrid.
I was thinking guessing at the start. I may as well guess at the start because I'm getting it either way.
Right, yeah. Apparently don't know any player who's ever lived.
Apparently you're like diving so deep into the history books that you're like...
This is probably the easiest one, actually.
Can you get it one more time?
PSV to Manchester United to Lyon to Barcelona to Atletico Madrid. Think about PSV to Man United. So think about the nationality of...
Say the last few again.
PSV to Man United to Lyon to Barcelona to Atletico Madrid. So,
Van Nistelrooy?
No. Give you one last guess because so he's Dutch.
Dutch. Yeah.
Played at Man United, played at Barcelona. Kind of didn't fulfill his potential.
Just thinking through Dutch United players.
It's more recent.
Van Nistelrooy, Blind.
More of an attacking
Malacia,
player.
Attacking Van Persie.
His first name is the same as the US state.
What?
Think Grizzlies. I don't know what that noise was. There was a weird noise in the record. All right, I'm
really hungry.
I'm really struggling. Just throw out one last guess, and we can end this segment because it's been a whiff.
Yeah, it's
been a bit of a whiff.
This is crashing and burning very quickly.
I originally had 10, so that would have been even worse.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sorry. I envisioned you do better. This is my bad.
Thanks, but I've been a little bit fraudulent, although I do think you really fucked me over. What position does he play?
It's like a winger / attacking mid. Sometimes striker.
Dutch winger / attacking mid that played for Manchester United.
Yeah, and didn't fulfill his potential. And also played for Barcelona. And played at the most current Euros for the Netherlands.
Oh. Most current Euros for the Netherlands.
Yes. Might have even been their captain. I'm not sure on that, though, to be honest.
De Jong, no. I don't know.
Okay, it's Memphis Depay is who it is.
Oh, okay. I actually probably could have got that one. That's the only one I probably actually could have got if I'd thought about it properly.
Should have gone Ospina, that one was so easy.
No way.
Colour. Okay, last one. Kenny! It's the
God.
last hope. We're going to do
I'm
this.
so ready for this to be done.
He's not having a fun time, but I am. Last chance to not expose yourself. Much as FC Lons are in Arsenal's group in Champions League, this player's career started at Lons before he moved to Tottenham Hotspur, then to QPR, then to Fulham, then to AC Milan, back to QPR, then Benfica, then Genoa.
It's going to be like, this is Johnny Wilkinson from...
This guy, he has 5-star skill moves in FIFA.
One more time.
Lons to Tottenham, to QPR, to Fulham, to AC Milan, to QPR, to Benfica, to Genoa.
Oh, Adelta Rap.
Oh, thank God, he's fucking got it. It's Adel Taarabt, saving a scoreless
Oh my
ending
God.
from the breaches of defeat. He has got it. That is indeed Adel
I'm not
Taarabt.
gonna lie, the 5-star skill.
Absolute legend.
I'd give it away.
I mean,
I probably would have got it
some
without
assistance. Anyways, so that was meant to be a fun little game, but ended up being more closer to like a torture.
To anyone who's
form of torture.
How long have we been going?
It's almost an hour and a half, and I really was trying to make this one a shorter episode.
To anyone who made it to this point, thank you, and I'm so sorry.
I think it was mostly a decent show. It went off the rails there at the end.
Yeah.
That segment did not go as planned, but you know,
I think we'll learn for next time.
I'll make any games from now on fucking piss easy so Kai doesn't embarrass himself, okay? Anyway, hope you enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a fun one other than that kind of ending there.
Yeah.
Didn't go quite as well as planned. But, you know, you try things, sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. We hope you enjoyed. You know, give us a comment. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Comment if you knew the fucking players. If you have, comment how many you knew and how well you did. Yeah, so that was a fun, yeah. We're done. We're out.
To restart this.
I'll stop talking. I never know when to end these things. We're done. Bye-bye!